Hello there, welcome to Scott's PC. With this small account, I'm just trying to generate options income. Let's see what happened this past week. You can see right there a total of $73 this last week in November. Just 3 positions that I did close out a little bit early. Let's have a quick peek at each one of them. The first one is BBAI. It's a covered call with a 650 strike. You can see I had 3 contracts, about $7 per contract. So they gave me $21 to sell this covered call. I ended up rolling this position for $1 a contract, or $3 total, which meant I got to keep 18 of the $21, or a realized profit of about 85%. And if we take a closer look at my position in BBAI, I've held it since about mid-October or so. And those 3 contracts means I have about 300 shares. There's the average cost of $6.44. That's why I'm running my strike at $6.50. But total capital invested in BBAI, $1,936. You can see I've been running covered calls for multiple weeks, or 6 weeks, for a grand total of $117 of realized profit. And if you look over here towards the left, a few puts on it for $36 total. If you add those all up, it's $153, or 7.9% return on investment. So I'm just going to keep on running some covered calls until these calls finally get called away. I think it has a good chance this coming business week to be called away at my 650 strike, which you'll see a little bit later. And then the next options play I had from last week was a put on TSLL, proxy of Tesla. You can see the strike price of $16.50. For this account, it was a good premium, $50 to sell this put. Tesla pumped, which means TSL pumped sometime during the week. I decided to give back $8 of that $50, keep $42 of it, or 84%. And then I did another put on TSLL, $15.50 strike, $16 to sell this put. I decided to close it early, give them 3 of that $16 back. So that meant I kept $13, or 81%. And if we stick with TSLL has the honor of being the first stock that I've run a complete revolution, or the wheel. I was assigned TSLL a couple weeks ago, and then this week my shares got called away. And you can see right here, and we'll take a quick look at it on this covered call, a $17.50 strike. You can see the cost to open it, $1,736. The credit at close, $1,786. That includes the $37 premium. So a realized profit close to $51, or just about 3%. So my first revolution of a wheel happened to me yesterday. And then looking at this position, a little bit closer look, you can see I was assigned a couple weeks ago 100 shares of TSL at that $1,736 average cost. So total capital invested $1,736. The first week, a nice premium of $52 that did not hit the strike. But then this week they did get called away. I got my $1,750 back plus the premium, or a total of $1,839 total. And you can see out here on the left, I've been running puts during that time for a grand total of $88. So all in all, $1,927 versus the $1,736, or about 11% return in about 2 weeks of playing with TSLL. I plan on selling some more puts next week just to keep this wheel going. And so again, this past week, $73 of realized options income. If we click on the last month, $519. That's really nice. And lifetime, $901, with my first options play being September 12th. So just about 3 months, close to $1,000. So hopefully by the end of next week, this will be over $1,000 year to date, so to speak. And now to the options I have on the table. Just 2 options are both covered calls. You can see BBAI and SoFi. Let's take a look at BBAI. This is one I rolled for $1 each contract. So I have 3 contracts. I'm sticking with the strike price of $6.50. Now my average cost is $6.44, but I'm trying to roll out of these. So $26 average credit per contract, which is $78. So if for whatever reason BBAI does not hit my strike price of $6.50, I will keep all $78 of the premium, Hopefully I can roll it to the next week for even a bigger premium. But even if they get called away, I'll get that money back, approximately $1,900 plus the $78 of premium. And then the second option I have on the table is a covered call on SoFi. You can see the average credit for just my one contract, $26. Right now, SoFi is sitting at $29.72. There's a strike price at 30. Again, I'm hoping that I can get these called away to free up that cash to do some puts. But if it doesn't finish above $30 by December 5th or next Friday, you can see I will keep all $26. If it doesn't, I'll probably roll it because I'll be close to the money, hopefully, for an even bigger premium. But either way, I want them to get called away so I can continue the wheel. And if we look at my current SoFi position, I've held it since mid-October, these 100 shares. You can see the total capital I've put into it, just over $3,000. Been running covered calls the past 3 weeks for a grand total of $67 of profit or income. And along the way, I've been doing a handful of puts for a total of $162 of put income. If you add those all up, it's $229 that I've been getting from SoFi, or 7.61% total return on this capital of $3,000. And then the last position in my portfolio, MSTX, I didn't make any money, but that was by my choice. Let's have a look at this position. A couple, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was assigned 200 shares of MSTX. You can see the average cost of $10.24, but MSTX, which is a proxy of Mr. And its leverage has come all the way down. You can see I'm down basically 50%. So Mr. is in the dumps right now. Bitcoin has been running flat in the high 80s, low 90s. And so I can run a covered call, at a strike price of probably like $6 or $6.50. But I'm afraid I'll forget about it and it'll get called away and I'll have a huge loss. So right now I am just holding MSTX, and hopefully it can go up at least to $7 or $8 and I can start running covered calls again on MSTX. But again, I might run a covered call at a $6 strike or a $6.50 strike. If it pumps, I'll roll it up, so to speak, and keep going from there. But somehow I need to figure out a way to get out of this position, because this is what's really dragging down the small portfolio, down $926. And now just a quick peek at the other two positions. BBAI, you can see at an average cost of $6.44 with those 300 shares. Again, I'm running a $6.50 strike, so I'll get the premium and a little profit if it gets called away this next week. Here you can see my SoFi position. I have an average cost of $29.79 with those 100 shares, sitting at $29.72. Again, hoping to get called away. The total position's down about $7 or just 0.24%. And if we come back to these screenshots, you can see the past week was really green, up about 10.5% or very close to $1,000. The past month, I'm still down about 4.5% or about $479. Past 3 months, I'm up just a little bit, $60 or 0.64%. You can see that last week. That's the big drawdown right there that's sucking down this portfolio, basically my MSTX position. I digress. And if we just click on all time, I'm even. I'm basically right back where I started from, down 0.07% or $7. And if we take a look at my buying power, you can see it's close to $30,000, but I'm in this for the options. Right now, I have about $4,100 of cash. My full margin's ready to use. And then another way to look at that, you can see I have $10,000 of total value. So 40% of this portfolio is in cash, 60% is in stocks. I'd like to get to 80%. I'd like to get BBAI called away and SoFi called away, and they have a good chance of being called away next week. You can see the MSTX position. I'm probably stuck with it for God knows how long. But again, cash is a position, and hopefully I can just build up and sell put options to generate that options income. A very conservative way, this wheel strategy, to make some money in the stock market. And if we take a look at my last 3 months of income. September and October, they were heavy in high yield dividends like MISTI, OLTI, XBTY, those high yield ETFs from YieldMax and Roundhill, and there's many more. And you can see the income I made with options included. But November has basically been all options income with just a little bit of my last of NVDX dividends at $16. So you can see a grand total of options right almost at $500. But if you add in those dividends, a total of $513 of income. No NAV erosion unless you count MSTX just falling so hard with Mr. So moving forward, it's going to be all options income. And I'm excited to see the progress I can make over December and then start of next year. And then another way I visualize it is just with a simple graph. You can see the $513 of total income for November. About 95% of that is from options income. And so far for the year of 2025, $900 of realized options income. And so with my infusion of cash with my TSLL shares getting called away, again, I now am at $4,157 cash. I'll be looking to do some puts here on Monday morning. I'll probably start off with SoFi, probably doing a put or one contract between a $28 and $29 strike. And I'm sure I'll be selling at least one more put on TSLL next week, probably at the $17.50 to $17 strike. And then you can see the premium at least over the weekend. It's going to change Monday morning, but one contract of TSLL. And then the last one I'll be looking to sell a put on probably is NVDX, which is a proxy of NVIDIA. I'm looking to sell a put between the $15 and $16 strike. I think NVIDIA has come down a little bit lower, and I'm looking for it to bounce, so I'm looking at NVDX. And so there you have it. Thanks for stopping by, folks. I will see you in the next video.